We are kicking off today with major news as the fury over RTruth's WWE departure refuses to go away, and it's only set to continue after the latest bombshell revelation. According to former WWE commentator Jonathan Coachman, Truth's situation may be the start of a company-wide restructuring to reset the pay scale across the roster, which would totally change the landscape of WWE. During the Coach and Bro show, Coachman jokingly revealed that a source close to the situation told him that WWE actually did offer RTruth a new contract, but it was for significantly less money than he was previously earning, which the veteran rejected. I should put this out there because I had somebody reach out to me and I was informed that WWE did offer RTruth a contract that was far less money than what he was making, and he decided to turn that down. That's what somebody told me. That's in the know. Now, whether or not that's true, I'm not sure. Coachman also speculated that RTruth would likely have realized that he could make more money elsewhere due to his popularity with fans, whether that's a new contract with another company or via indie bookings, which is why he rejected the deal. He claimed that companies can often quietly restructure their pay scales, pushing lower deals onto people one at a time, which is something he experienced during his time at ESPN. He feels WWE is now doing the same thing. The rise of AEW led to WWE's salaries inflating as they were forced to compete with Tony Khan's big contract offers to secure top talent to deals. However, AEW has cooled off across the board, and WWE no longer sees them as the same threat level, so they can now reconsider lower contracts again. Nothing has been, nor likely will it be, confirmed by WWE regarding pay scales. However, Coachman's comments do carry weight given his personal experience working for the company and his continued contact with many key players. This means that if what he's saying is real, RTruth might just be the first victim of a lower paying offer, and he certainly won't be the last. It's no secret that WWE is operating differently under TKO due to the financial pressures that come with that from a business perspective. Still, if this strategy continues, then more beloved veterans will be forced to make some tough choices down the road. Do you think WWE is slowly shifting to lower paying contracts for talent, or was RTruth's situation unique? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know where you stand. Given WWE's new pay scale, it should come as no surprise that more releases are expected after RTruth, Carlito, and Valhalla. According to Brian Alvarez on the latest Wrestling Observer Live, the era of emotional farewells and respecting people's tenure is now over under the TKO group, which is an ominous sign for other veterans on the roster. WWE might not be done releasing talent, but fans aren't through with fighting for those who are being cut either, as Triple H's latest NXT hype post proves. The game continued with his business-as-usual approach on social media by attempting to hype up the latest episode of NXT. However, rather than receiving excited responses, he was simply met with a flurry of "We Want Truth" responses as fans prove they're not letting this situation go. This week, NXT saw a huge debut as former AEW star Mariah May made her presence known in WWE. Jacy Jayne had made her entrance alongside Fatal Influence to celebrate her newly won NXT Women's title, but Lainey Reed brought those celebrations to a premature end when she demanded a title shot. Jayne quickly learned what it means to be a champion as various other contenders made their demands for a title shot too, with Lola Vice, Jordan Grace, Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, Lash Legend, and Thea Hale all making their aspirations to dethrone her clear. Right then, May decided to make her grand introduction. The lights dropped, and she was then shown to be up in the crow's nest, standing like royalty on the balcony, draped in gold. May didn't waste any time declaring, "I'm the next NXT Women's Champion," while adding, "The best women's division in the world just got a lot more glamorous." She showcased that she's not here to play around and wants to make an immediate impact. May's arrival in WWE has been expected for some time. Even though her AEW deal wasn't expected to end until early June, she was removed from the company's roster page at the end of May, sparking speculation her time working for Tony Khan was done. Fightful Select reported that she'd been making moves preparing for life after AEW over the last number of months, with WWE and specifically NXT always her intended destination. However, it was also noted that her AEW departure didn't feature any bad blood between the two parties. Fightful Select has also confirmed that May has committed her future to WWE by signing a 3-year contract, a deal that only a small inner circle of people was privy to. A very tight circle officially knew that May was on board ahead of time, with her debut segment being handed to the talent just moments before the show began to keep things as quiet as possible to genuinely surprise the fans, which was achieved. Name changes are common when talent joins WWE, and according to WrestleVotes, that's going to be the case with May. The outlet stated, "She'll be getting a new name once it's decided upon, with WWE looking to rebrand her as something of their own creation." May isn't just a flash-in-the-pan star, though, as she's someone who's worked for every opportunity handed to her. Starting on the UK indie scene, she had a breakout run in Stardom before being part of Toni Storm's Timeless storyline in AEW. The feud between her and Storm proved popular and had the potential to be a long-term situation for AEW's women's division, but it was cut short because May had set her sights on a move to Orlando. Now that May has officially signed with WWE, a full repackage is expected, which fans have come to expect for the newly debuting stars from other promotions. May wasted no time in celebrating her debut on social media. She posted a message saying, "Honey, I'm home at WWE at WWE NXT," which gained plenty of buzz from the WWE universe. WWE also caught up with May for a backstage interview that was released on the company's social media. She said, "Mariah May, it's about damn time. I've wrestled all over the world, and it's only right that the glamour arrives in NXT." Fans were given a brief introduction to May this week, but it's exactly what they should expect from her: confident, composed, classy, and intentional. This follows on from how she was introduced on television. May did not come in throwing punches, but still made a mark, and her arrival was the biggest talking point of the night. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. There was a scary moment during a WWE speed taping before Raw this week when Joaquin Wilde's match against Lexis King took a worrisome turn as the LWO star suffered a serious injury mid-match. Wilde confirmed on social media that he had been knocked out cold, and while he stressed he's doing okay, it was confirmed during NXT that he is out of Worlds Collide. The high-flying wrestler was initially set to team with Dragon Lee and Cruz del Toro against AAA's Mystery Iguana, Aerostar, and Octagon Jr., but that's no longer the case. During NXT, the AAA trio were shown in the crowd as a graphic flashed up to promote the match, with Wilde replaced by former WWE superstar Lince Dorado. Fortunately, Wilde's injury does not appear to be a long-term issue, but safety is paramount in professional wrestling, and WWE is not taking any risks, especially since it's a concussion. The key is that Wilde will be okay, and fans have been relieved to hear that he's doing well, as the situation could have ended in a far more worrying and problematic manner. Dorado will now team with Lee and Del Toro for one night only, a major shift from the originally planned show, but that just proves the card is always subject to change and adds some exciting unpredictability to the cross-promotion event. On to AEW now, and one man who has been missing for some time is Wardlow. The former TNT champion has been gone since spring 2024, and according to Fightful Select, that's due to a combination of injury and outside opportunity. Wardlow suffered a labrum injury back in spring 2024, and then he was unfortunately involved in a car accident that made the injury even worse. However, Wardlow then landed a special television role that he couldn't refuse, and since that point, he's been cleared to compete physically in the ring again. Wardlow spoke with Tony Khan about creative ideas, but the decision was made not to bring him back for a short stint before removing him again so he could fulfill the television commitments. Instead, AEW is waiting for him to be done so that he can return to television, and they have plenty of time to use him, as Fightful stressed that his deal has a long time remaining. Do you think Wardlow's cautious return strategy will help him regain his status in AEW once he does come back? Sound off in the comments. Another AEW star who's been missing for a while is Chris Jericho, who's been away from wrestling to focus on his latest Fozzy tour, but fans might not be seeing him anytime soon. According to Dave Meltzer on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, there are no plans for him to return to AEW television. However, he is free to be plugged back into storylines whenever Tony Khan needs him. Elsewhere, former WWE star Priscilla Kelly had wrestling fans concerned this week after she posted and then deleted a worrying message about ending her own life. Her post instantly sent alarm bells ringing for wrestling fans who were stressed that Kelly was going to harm herself, but she followed it up with another post where she admitted it was written out of frustration. It said, "I tweeted out of hurt. I was being dark and sarcastic, not literal, but I understand it landed heavy." Kelly further explained that being mocked and sexualized while trying to rebuild herself broke a piece of her, but then made it clear she's bulletproof as she continues to look forward to whatever's next in her career. This week's WWE Raw proved to be a history-making episode without most wrestling fans even realizing it. That's because the identity of the medical staff member who tended to Sami Zayn with an ice pack has now been revealed to be indie wrestler Alejandra Quintanilla, who is the first wrestler from El Salvador to ever appear on WWE programming. She hails from the Texas territory and has competed in several companies over the years. She's appeared on AEW Dynamite and ROH and worked for CMLL. More NXT news now, as the show opened with a recap of what happened last week before a segment to hype Worlds Collide, with 3 out of the 4 competitors for the North American title appearing, with Rey Fenix being the only man missing. It was explained during the segment by Ethan Page that Phoenix was stuck on a plane, which is why he ended up missing the event. Evolve star Sean Legacy ended up appearing though, as he will be facing the winner, but that led to even more Evolve stars turning up and a brawl taking place to set up a later match. The segment itself was short and sweet, not overstaying its welcome, but it also didn't add all that much to the upcoming title match outside of reminding people it's happening in the first place. WWE continued to push on with the future despite the fans' calls for the past. An 8-man tag team match took place with Legacy, Evans, Laredo Kid, and Dragon Lee facing Page and the Vanity Project. The announcers hyped WWE Evolve and how Legacy and Drake will be involved in a match to crown the first champion for that show, once again driving home the message of the future. The babyfaces had the upper hand in this one until Page almost decapitated Laredo Kid with a boot to the face as the show cut to break. From then on, Page and the Vanity Project controlled the pace until a hot tag from Lee changed everything. Lee scored the win for his team in a fast-paced match with a lot of action. Several Evolve talents looked impressive, making it a great showcase for them. Tag team action has always been important in NXT, and that was highlighted this week in a 6-man bout with Andre Chase, Uriah Connors, and Cal Dixon facing DarkState's Dion Lennox, Cutler James, and Osiris Griffin. Connors immediately rushed the ring and went after the stable all on his own, but that proved to be a poor decision as he was dumped out of the ring. Chase tried and failed to keep the young guys under control, so their stronger opponents were able to dominate early on. Chase U always have heart though, so it wasn't a surprise that they could make a brief comeback, but that didn't last long. Griffin nailed a double suplex to re-establish the order of control as DarkState hit their classic triple powerbomb for the win. This was a short match with good energy, but it was essentially a glorified squash, with Chase U not getting enough time to make it competitive. While NXT is attempting to showcase the future of professional wrestling, the WWE Universe was looking to the past with deafening "We Want Truth" chants throughout the match. Just like on Raw earlier this week, the fans' chants was a clear message that WWE was unable to ignore due to their volume. The WWE Universe was very upset by the decision not to renew RTruth's contract, as the chants even drowned out commentary at times. WWE provided a stacked card on the night with Trick Williams defending his TNA World title and Tyra May Steele's debut, but fans only want one thing: RTruth. Will WWE finally address this backlash, or will the crowd take control of every show until RTruth gets the respect they believe he deserves? WWE LFG proved to be a hit series for WWE, and on this week's NXT, Season 1 winner Tyra May Steele kicked off her career. Steele and Ariana Grace ended up in a backstage confrontation, with the latter questioning whether Steele's gold medals were even real. For the illusion of doubt, she won them in the women's 68-kilogram freestyle wrestling division at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, becoming the first black woman to win gold in Olympic wrestling for the United States in the process. Steele had the chance to show Grace exactly why she won gold when they got into the ring. She heaved her across the ring and followed it with a suplex to pick up a win in her debut. The match itself wasn't anything special or memorable, but Steele showcased plenty of intensity, and if that's the level of enthusiasm she's bringing to her career, there's no doubt she'll do well. What's your take on Tyra May Steele's debut for NXT? Do you think she has what it takes to do big things on the brand? Let us know what you think in the comments section. Another wrestler who was part of a reality wrestling show is Mandy Rose, who went on to make a name for herself in WWE. She was shockingly released by WWE in December 2022 despite being pushed as the top female star in NXT at the time. She hasn't been seen in the wrestling world since, as she focuses on other projects. However, during an interview with cardplayer.com, Rose admitted she would take a phone call from Triple H if he ever reached out to her. "I would love to have a conversation. We can even iron out some things maybe from the past that didn't go as planned. I've never been able to have a conversation with anyone that I knew or had a relationship with. It was like, okay, no one's going to give me a little explanation here, but it would have to really make sense for me to come back financially, and it would have to be a huge event." Would you like to see Mandy Rose make her return to WWE, and do you believe she has more to offer the wrestling business? Let us know in the comments section below. In an interesting business development, WWE President Nick Khan is set to cash out on over $4.5 million worth of his TKO stock. Khan is planning to sell an incredible 28,557 shares of TKO Group holding stock, according to a new filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. This would be one of the biggest financial moves since the WWE and UFC merger, and due to his importance to WWE, it will surely gain a lot of attention. Khan is busy at work behind the scenes though, as WWE continues to try to sort out a WrestleMania 42 location, and it's almost a done deal that they'll be returning to Las Vegas, according to Brian Alvarez of Wrestling Observer Live. While it hasn't been confirmed anywhere, WWE reportedly cleared several hurdles that were in the way of the show happening in Vegas once again. Factions don't last forever in wrestling, and that was highlighted this week when the tension was high between No Quarter Catch crew members Myles, Borne, and Charlie Dempsey, who have been having issues for some time. They've been a part of the group for the past few years, but tension has been growing between them, which was intensified when Dempsey volunteered to take Borne's place against Obafemi, which he refused. Things boiled over last week when they had a verbal confrontation, as Borne made it clear he wanted to be a singles star. This set up their match for this week, and Borne was able to leave the group if he defeated Dempsey. The two men battled in a rounds match, which was kept technical from start to finish, despite the ongoing issues between them. Borne scored the first fall just before the end of the first round, but after the bell of that round, things changed as Dempsey took a cheap shot. That led to him getting a fall with the Regalplex, but it all boiled down to the fourth round when Borne got another fall to win the match and his freedom from NQCC. It was arguably the best technical match of the night, and the two men even shook hands at the end of the match, hinting that they might have put their issues behind them. However, with Borne out of the group, NQCC will either need to recruit a new member or disband. What's your take on Myles Borne's career trajectory? Do you think he has a major title run in his future? Let us know what you think in the comments section. WWE's partnership with TNA continued this week as Trick Williams defended his TNA World title for the first time in the main event against former AEW star Santana. It was a star-studded event with former WWE superstar Elijah in the crowd to watch on, and things got physical between the main event stars almost immediately. There was no time for headlocks and rest holds here, as both men wanted to beat each other up as much as possible, with Williams proving why he's one of the brightest names in wrestling, while Santana showcased why he's a veteran of the industry. The match was filled with interference, though, as Williams was distracted by Elijah. AJ Francis, formerly Top Dollar, and KC Navarro also turned up to attack Santana and take him out. Despite all of this madness, Williams was able to defend the title in a match filled with moving parts. Despite being a TNA star, the crowd was certainly more behind Santana in this match, but there were still some cheers for the champion. Williams looked physically impressive because Santana is a big guy, so seeing Trick totally outsize him was impressive. The Culling also made a big statement this week on NXT when Jensen was kicked out of the group after being attacked from behind with a steel chair by none other than Izzi Dame. Despite being the first group member recruited by Shawn Spears, it was clear that there was no loyalty within this group. Tatum Paxley once again edged closer to joining the Culling this week as she was approached by Izzi Dame. During the encounter, Izzi warned her about how she deals with fake friends, further teasing Paxley's possible alignment with the faction. From a creative standpoint, this direction raises questions. Tatum's unpredictability is part of what makes her so compelling. Her character is unique, distinct from anyone else in WWE. If she ultimately aligns with the Culling, it could blur the individuality that sets her apart. Should Tatum Paxley join the Culling, or is her strength better showcased as a lone force within the division? And that was NXT this week. How do you rate it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.